Okay. To be honest, I was expecting more. Good evening, everyone. So Sunday night on CBS, they aired the Golden Globes. It's the only award show named after Sydney Sweeney's chest.
Yeah.
And for the third year in a row, the award for Best Special Effects went to Sean Penn's face. But winning for Best Picture, a movie called Hamnet. Though some audience members were disappointed to find out it had nothing to do with deli meat. Fat joke always lands. All right. Over the weekend, more than 2,000 anti-ICE protesters marched in Central Park. Sadly, most of them were immediately mugged by Venezuelan gang members. Did I say sadly? Heineken's CEO is stepping down due to sluggish beer sales. Industry experts are blaming Ozempic because you don't need beer when your wife's not fat. That is just a seamless joke.
You're killing it.
Yes. The U.S. reportedly incapacitated Venezuelan troops with a sonic weapon that one survivor described as feeling like his head was exploding from the inside. What's this about explosive head? Asked one man. I would have gone in a different direction. Zohran Mamdani went on YouTube Kids star Miss Rachel's show and sang "The Wheels on the Bus" with the host. It was all fun and games until the driver yelled, "Allah Akbar!" Congresswoman Ilhan Omar said that the ICE agent in Minnesota should have known not to try to get in front of a moving car. But she's wrong because the car wasn't moving. Man, she's going to make people think every Somali who marries her brother is some kind of fraud. All right. Finally, on Sunday's Meet the Press, Democrat Senator Chris Murphy said Trump has committed 10 times more impeachable offenses in his second term than his first term. Well, if you think that's bad, wait till you see his third. Joke. No longer a joke. So interfering with law enforcement is now the radicals' version of the Tide Pod Challenge. Same concept, do something really stupid, make sure it's filmed for accolades and attention. It's like standing between Jesse Waters and a camera. They never think they might die doing it. But here's the darker question. Imagine if Tide had been telling teens to eat those pods all along. What if Tide put out a glossy how-to explaining how solvents and cleaning agents go great with Lunchables and also cure acne from the inside out? And what if they then sent reps to schools to conduct training on how to chew and swallow, then post a reaction online? Seems like Tide would get sued to oblivion. So, what if your family member got themselves jammed up, or worse, at the behest of anti-ICE radicals? Couldn't you have a lawsuit too? Couldn't you go after the extremist groups, those who encourage and train gullible people to obstruct the law and who end up in jail, injured or worse? These groups are legal entities that can be held liable, including for negligence or wrongful death. Because this isn't just activism. It's get the confrontation on camera so we stay funded. And when the performance turns lethal, everyone suddenly becomes shocked that poking the bear can end badly, and not for the bear. Now, I'm not addressing the outcome. Leave that for investigators in courts, and definitely not for hacks like Adam Schiff or CNN, who rush to judgment like Kamala heading toward the nearest happy hour. But if reports are accurate, surviving relatives could pursue a settlement against the terrorist cosplayers who may have encouraged or equipped Good to engage in dangerous tactics like impeding federal agents. Because clearly that training increases risk of lethal encounters. Hell, Judge Judy could handle this case before the first commercial. Now, sources claim Good was part of ICE Watch, a group that monitors and interferes with immigration operations, and she received thorough training on obstructing the path of armed agents. Brilliant. Why not just paint an X on your forehead in the words, "shoot me"? This isn't observe and document, it's instigate and escalate. DHS sources say she was stalking and impeding officers all day and that she attempted to weaponize her vehicle, which lines up with the kind of training tactics used to create catastrophic confrontations. So if lawsuits uncover training materials or witnesses come forward documenting the deliberate escalation, that would link the training to Good's fatal encounter and other violent incidents. In plain English, if you're running a training program that teaches people to obstruct the law and you don't hammer home the obvious reality that this can get you killed, then what exactly are you doing? The people funding and running these groups, they know the risks, even if many of the clueless radicals they rile up don't. Maybe they should include warnings in their mass emails saying, warning, the Surgeon General has determined being a left-wing radical activist can kill you. Welcome tonight's guest. He used to host Shark Week till the sharks complained to HR. Host of Hollywood Weapons on the Outdoor Channel, Terry Schaffer. You may recognize him from Pornhub's stepdad category. Comedian Jeff Dye. Yeah. The only time this Kennedy drives into a lake is when she's lost her glasses. Host of Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. And in high school, he was voted most likely to bang your great-grandmother. Former NWA World Champion and host of Tyrus podcast, Tyrus. Terry, great to see you as always. You look marvelous, in great shape. Aging gracefully.
You're
what do you know?
Starting. I turned 60 in December.
Oh, wow. So I'm actually older than you.
A little bit older.
And yet you look a lot older than me.
You know, that's what, Craig, it's funny you say that because, you've lived your years. I've lived mine as, mostly in special operations. So I have a lot of off-road miles. So this is what you get. You get ruggedly handsome and you get more if you do what I do.
Yeah.
And you get like you if you do what you do. So, I mean,
Makes sense.
Am I wrong?
No,
Am I wrong?
Yeah, no.
Am I not wrong?
You are ruggedly
I'm 58.
handsome.
This is what showbiz does. Man.
So, Terry, all these protests, who's behind this, and don't they share in the responsibility?
Well, what's discouraging about it too is that this is the culmination in a product of decades of this. So this isn't just a new thing. I have family members and friends who still, with everything that's come out, refuse to believe that all the stuff about Trump with Russia was BS. They will not believe it.
Right.
They will not believe the COVID stuff that's come out. Mm-hmm. They will not believe anything. And so I would say you got to give these people an A+ in the indoctrination over 30, 40 years by now, because now the ground has been set.
Yeah.
So then when you do have these people come in and say, you have an opportunity to save the world and rid it of Nazis, and they're going to do it, and they're going to do it. And I'm sure we're going to talk about all the Venezuela stuff. I really got to tell the administration, Trump, Bondi, all them, no matter all the cool stuff you do on foreign policy, if you don't crush this, if you don't get this stopped in the United States, you will have a failed presidency.
Yeah. And, it must bother you to see people...
Here we go.
To see people being called Nazis who aren't Nazis.
Yes.
Because you put the work in.
Yeah, I did. I put the work in.
Yes.
I feel like they're taking my helm.
It's stolen valor.
It's stolen valor.
One of us.
The audience is like going,
I don't know what to do.
Do I applaud? Do I laugh? It's okay.
Can you boo and clap at the same time?
Jeff, what do you think of my Tide Pod analogy?
I liked it. I don't think Tide's going to be crazy about that segment. They're going to go, hey, we're trying to get everyone to forget about that. Here's the thing. I feel like we're losing sight of things when it's selective. So it's like if, when the SeaWorld trainer gets attacked by a killer whale, everybody's common sense goes, oh, well, that might happen. That can happen.
Yes.
We do it with so many subjects. Now, I'm definitely not happy about what happened. It breaks my heart that these things happen. These things happen a lot. It sucks. It's not good. No one deserves this. But we're also losing sight that police officers and troops and people that have these type of difficult jobs, they're also people. They react when they're in a situation. Things happen. And when you go playing with these killer whales or play with these very dangerous jobs, these terrible things happen.
That is such a great point, because when I was growing up, Kennedy, like, I don't remember a single friendly interaction with a police officer. Right. Like, you didn't kind of pal around with them.
No way.
And like, if you did something where you thought was like clever, you were gonna make it, they would scare the crap out of you. And somehow I believe that a generation of especially young left-wing women are being told that there are no consequences to poking the bear or the killer whale.
Or that it's virtuous.
Yes.
You know, I remember, you know, in the 80s, like running around with my friends in 8th grade, dicking around in the middle of the night, like egging cute boys' houses.
Oh, I remember when you did that.
And trying to like teepee houses just to get their attention, like hee. And then, you know, one night the cops followed us and we scattered and ran down the street, and I hid under this patio for like 3 hours because I was so terrified. And we were conditioned that if you get busted by the cops, it's the end of your life. You're not going to college. You're never going to get a job. You're never going to get married. But now you've got an entire generation of people who are like, you know, all cops are bad. Cops are dicks. Defund the police. Like, do whatever you want. Say whatever you want. And unfortunately, like these ICE agents, and I'm like you, like, I don't want this stuff to happen. I do not want protesters getting killed. Right. I don't want people doing stupid things. And I'm also very curious, like, what are the rules of engagement for federal officers versus local officers? I don't know. An investigation will tell us that stuff. But unfortunately, you have a group of people who no longer have respect for law enforcement. And so it's like the people who are left doing that job, they're either violent, raging criminals themselves, or they're the very best among us. Because especially, I know we're going to talk about Portland, in places like Portland, no one has your back. Like the hippies, the protesters, the mayor, and you know, we're going to see a little bit of video that will make every cop's butthole pucker.
Oh, but not again.
But unfortunately, this is the environment we're in, because this is the environment that has been conditioned for us.
Yeah. You know, we always hear in the military cannon fodder, but I think we learned that activist groups also have cannon fodder. They put her out in front, and she is expendable, and they lose her, it helps the cause. She's their cannon fodder.
Well, no. Well, first of all, I think you have to defend protesters here a little bit. Protesters don't get shot. Domestic terrorists do. There's a difference there. Somebody who stands outside and has a difference in opinion in what your belief system is, and they want to get a sign and they want to sing songs, that's fine. But when you are going out of your way to go after, forget that he's a cop, another human being. That's what domestic terrorists do. There's a big difference there. Here's the thing. This isn't. Minnesota is special in the fact that they were very effective during George Floyd. They got the police department and the government of Minnesota to bend the knee to them. Police officers were walking with looters, apologizing for being white, apologizing for being taken. They burned down their police station. So the people in Minnesota, they are the bad people, the domestic terrorists, are empowered because they think the other side wears gloves, because what has police in this country been doing, Republicans been doing? White gloves. It's never the others. They're not fighting back. And now it's gone, and they just needed, we always talk about this, Greg, if they crack a few eggshells.
Yeah.
Well, she's an eggshell. And if they could have got, without all that video stuff coming out, if they could have got the angle that made it look like the car was stationary, they would have got what they wanted. They would have had Minnesota in fire that night, and they would have had all the sanctuary cities burning. But here's the thing, America grew up a lot.
Yeah.
When you took away the police, it hit everybody at home. You're having a problem with your drunk husband and you call, we can't come because we don't have officers. You get carjacked, and sorry, we can't come, we have officers. That made more of a difference than the last 10 years of trying to make police officers too afraid to do their job. And then she found out the highway. And the worst person in all this, in my opinion, instead of yelling, go, baby, go, how about saying, stop, baby, stop?
Yeah.
She would have went home with you that night.
Yeah, that's true, but she didn't care.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.